People assume that
You
you
want
rich
to
because you on
right,
TV or you making moves. Fame and the money don't add up. You know, the hardest thing for me to deal with is the fame and the money don't add up. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
people assume that
You
you
want
rich
to
because you on
right.
TV or you making moves. They think you got it, and
You
you
want to
it ain't
bottle
like
that.
that.
Right, right,
And you know, some of these people that assume that might have more in their account than you do.
right, right,
You know,
right.
I take care of a lot of people, but however, the
Hmm.
fame and the money has not ever added up for me yet
So
as of yet. It is
celebrity.
ever the same. I'm always more famous than
Hmm.
the money. The hardest thing for me
Wow.
to deal with is the fame.
Dollar until I had 6.5 million, I believe.
The description on this says famous and broke. If you don't know who this is Haha Davis. He's, I would say, most famous on Instagram. He's a famous Instagram creator where he creates short form content for Instagram. And this is him just basically saying that he was famous. He had 6.5 million followers, but he was still broke, which is an incredible amount of followers,
I didn't
especially
make a
for
real
Insta.
dollar until I had 6.5 million, I believe, or maybe 6 million. That's when I really started making money. But you can have you like you famous and broke. I was famous and broke, living out my mama's basement still. We're making no money down there.
Really?
No money, none.
So was it frustrating because yeah, excuse me, you're working so hard,
Mhm.
you're putting all your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it seems like it's all for naught.
Mhm.
And then you hear a lot of stories like, "Hey, it just I go year after year after
Yeah,
year, and just one day
yeah. One day it
it
just happened.
happened."
Yeah, one day it just happened. But yeah, it's frustrating. We got 5 million people around this world that love you, and you ain't got no money. Like damn, bro. Hey, you
Man.
hard, Dave? Like, yeah, you want to buy me a cheeseburger?
Yeah,
For real?
yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, but how do you let that happen? See, and that's just poor execution at that point. You got 5 million people that's got eyes on you, and you didn't give them nothing. You didn't do get provide nothing to sell them. Nothing. Everything is a conversion at the end of the day. Let me tell you something. You got 5 million followers. You're not going to tell me that you're not going to convert 5,000 of those 5 million into whatever it is that you have to sell. So if you have something to sell, I mean 5 million. I mean, come on now. This is an incredible case study. You definitely probably get a better conversion than 5,000 of them. But you're not going to tell me you're not going to convert 5,000 out of 5 million people who are following you and watching you. So let's just say he has something to offer to where when he sells it, he profits $10 per thing. He gets 5,000 people to buy the $10 thing. Sir, just right there, you just made $50,000. And these can even be things that you can continue to scale up to get people to buy. Dude, all you got to do is figure out, all you got to do is make a t shirt. A t shirt, you can make a $10 margin. You're not going to tell me 5,000 people out of 5 million ain't going to buy a t shirt to where you could profit $10 per shirt. And then you would just have $50,000 right there, just like that. There's no way you're not going to tell me that you can't make that happen. So this is poor execution, poor planning. If he couldn't monetize that, because he did have a big following. And I see a lot of other people, because he makes like the comedic short form stuff where it's scripted, kind of like Dave Chappelle esque, but it's for Instagram. And I mean, we could talk about it. I mean, he's on a bad platform as well as it's just it's not too many ways to monetize on Instagram. So you get the attention and you got to fill in the monetization gap yourself. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype. But again, if you could like, literally it's just a click.
I seen this girl make a video and she was like, why she see an influx of celebrities on TikTok Shop.
It says celebrities on TikTok shocked because rent and property taxes are about to be due. Basically, she's saying they're broke. Celebrities are broke.
And that's because they broke for real. I don't know why we're shocked. Because they've gotten on every podcast, they've gotten on every interview, they've gotten on Instagram, Facebook, all platforms of social media, and told y'all 70 million different ways that your favorite celebrities are broke. Everybody broke in Hollywood. That's literally what all the celebrities have said. They are all robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then slapping Paul upside the head to go back and pay Peter. Right? So like, that's the reason why you seen them on TikTok. They have to offset it somewhere. Right? They gotta diversify their palettes somewhere, because Hollywood itself ain't checking for them right now. On top of the fact we are in an anti-DEI wave. If you look like me, if you're brown, if you're Asian, if you're queer, you not getting booked for real. Not like that. I'm not saying that you can't get booked, and I'm not saying that they aren't getting booked, because like I said, Amber Riley has a show coming out in the CW. But let's also not pretend that, like, even Issa Rae said it. She was talking with Kev on stage. Right? Was it Kev on stage? It was Kev on stage. It was Kev on stage. Okay, yeah.
You see how she's talking about all these celebrities? We get so caught up in this celebrity mess. We be talking about the celebrities like we really know them, and even how she's pocket watching and trying to basically say all these creators are broke. We're reviewing the video right now, but it's people who really pay attention to these type of things. They'll be able to tell you if Lil Baby is broke. It's like, or if Young Thug is broke. But yet they won't address their own brokenness. They're not trying to progress in their own life. See, the celebrity's broke and you're broke is two totally different brokes. Sure, some celebrities will hit rock bottom, but I'm ultimately just saying the things we focus on are typically the things that have no direct impact into our life. And then when we one day wake up and we're not where we want to be, it's like we feel this sense of failure, but yet I can't even call it failure. At least with failure, you get some lessons. You just didn't even try. Your attention was stolen and was ultimately focused on things that were just fodder when you really think about it. She's all wound up and caught up in all these celebrities. She done listed off 5, 6 celebrities already, and just talking about them like she's just so familiar with them.
It was Kev on stage. It was Kev on stage. It was Kev on stage. Okay, yeah, it was Kev on stage. And she was sitting there saying the same thing. She like, it's not. So yeah, you gonna see them on TikTok Shop, because they gotta find something to do, because their bill's a little more expensive than you and I, right? Because they gotta pretend that they can afford them houses. Because a lot of Hollywood is pretending to keep up with the Joneses and things of that nature. So they gotta keep the charade going. So that's why they're gonna charade on this here app and get y'all to buy stuff, right? That's it. Ain't no secret. Everybody poor, everybody struggling, and that should let you know.
That's a great point. They try to keep up with the Joneses. They feel like they have to maintain the image, and people do that in regular situations too, not just celebrities. But yeah, a lot of them have higher expenses. So we're talking about they're broke. They don't have to be broke. Listen, you had a season where you done made, let's just say a celebrity made $400,000, but they feel like they should be living a lifestyle like they make $1 million. Nothing stopped you from still just getting a regular apartment, $2,000 a month rent. That's only $24,000 for the year in your rent. That's gonna come out of your $400,000. You can get a decent car. You don't have to be broke. Being broke just means that you didn't retain, and you just assumed that you were still gonna maintain that that same pay wage. You thought that it was gonna stay flowing the way that it's flowing, but you still need to be retaining. If you retain and then you invest, then your money will still be growing, especially if you have large capital. That's the quickest way to get it growing. So it's just terrible financial stewardship is how we end up in these situations. And like she said, also trying to maintain this lifestyle that you actually don't even need to try to maintain. Some people would rather give the perception, give the look, but then not actually be. I would rather actually be, and maybe I don't look like it. So maybe I don't get the recognition or the vanity and the validation. But I'd rather just know that it actually is what it is, as opposed to looking like what it is. But really, I'm destroying my future just to be able to look like it.
That if the motherfucker who is on, if you turn on your, you gonna have to deal with that glitch. But if you see a motherfucker on your television screen and then you log onto your TikTok and you see that same motherfucker trying to sell you a protractor, a ruler, a course, and some tummy time tea, guess what? That's how you know they broke for it. But Chris,
Well, here's the thing, right? It's not the same amongst everybody. All right, a hustle is a hustle. I don't care if it's on TikTok Shop or if they hawking, something on nighttime TV. A hustle is a hustle, right? So just because they're selling on TikTok Shop doesn't necessarily mean that they broke. However, the caveat to that is a lot of them are really broke, regardless of whether they're on TikTok Shop or not. That's the trick. Is
I came home with nothing, bro. I had nothing. I ain't had no clothes. I ain't had nowhere to stay.
The caption says Fetty Wap speaks on coming home broke after making 28 million in music. If you don't know who this guy was a big star at one point, and I believe I would have thought he made more than 28 million in music. How big he was, but ultimately he made 28 million. But yet somehow he came home broke when he came from jail. So he came home from jail and he was broke after making 28 million again. How you don't at least keep 1 million? How do you make 28 million and you don't at least create a standard that my standard is I'm gonna always at least have this million right here sitting, hopefully growing. But how you don't at least create a standard? I done made 28 million. I gotta always at least have a million. And nothing comes before that. I'm gonna always make sure of that. You just blowing it. And that's the cognitive dissonance between you blow it because you assume that more is gonna come, but all great things come to an end. So when it comes to an end, you didn't anticipate it. You're planning for the revenue to continue coming in when you should be planning for what you keep anytime you actually make any revenue that comes in. That's what needs to happen. And that's the smart move. And there's no risk associated with that. It's just a good principle to keep and maintain that pretty much guarantees that you'll always have something.
I had nothing. I lost everything when I was in there. Storage units got hit. Lost all that. All the cars gone. Jewelry gone. Nothing, bro. I ain't had nothing. I was going to go stay at my sister's house. Word up, I was going to stay at my sister's house. I was going to finish up my HVAC program. I had 2 courses left. I asked one of my guys, said, look, let me use the van, start the business up, get a few dudes to come work with me, start my business and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Went from there, go to Florida, open up another van, that was my plan.
But after you came up,
One of my close friends, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of business with him, legal business, a lot of business with him. I bought a lot of my cars from him. That's the one.
Yeah, I'm broke as fuck, man.
All right, first of all, how did you go broke?
Man,
Adrian Broner explains how he went broke after making millions. If you don't know who this guy is. He was the closest comparison to Floyd Mayweather in his prime. But what ended up happening is he couldn't stay disciplined. You can see him right now. He's got a belly, which he was a boxer. And so this already kind of lets you know the discipline, but he just started drinking, spending a lot of money, just focusing on all the things outside of the ring. And so he basically destroyed his own future. He could have been undefeated and been like Floyd and made billions probably. Funny enough, that's the acronym for his name. Adrian Broner calls himself AB, and he also makes it stand for about billions, but ultimately just didn't have discipline. And so ruined his future, but he's making somewhat of a resurgence with his personality now. But let's get back into it.
shit happens, bro. And then like when I really can't even get into. It was me for real.
Yeah.
Of course, it was probably me. But then again, when I look at it, it was like, nah, it wasn't me. But it was mostly me. And then the lawsuits, and then I was just doing a lot of shit, bro. I was doing a lot
What
of
was you
shit.
spending the most of your money on though? What would you say? Or the craziest investments or craziest shit you bought?
You said
I used to
investments.
do dumb shit, bro.
Yeah, they want
I
no
go to the
investments.
grocery. I mean, I go to a jewelry store, see another nigga wife in there. She'll be looking at a watch. She don't even know I see her looking at the watch, and I go behind her back and buy the watch. I was doing shit like that.
Oh yeah, so you was cashing out.
About 80,000.
He
Damn.
just say that lets you know how crazy and how wild he is. He just say he'll go in a jewelry store, see a dude's wife in there. Hopefully not him with his wife. That is a dangerous game you playing. And you'll see her look at her watch and then you'll just buy her the watch. That's a wild thing to say, man.
So
And
what's the
do.
most?
And you would never see her again?
Huh?
You would just never see her again?
I end up fucking her.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that's got to be the goal there, right?
But I didn't intend to. I end up fucking her like some time after.
Wow.
But
She owed you realistically.
Yeah.
I felt like she owed me some pussy.
For sure.
So this is just trash. So basically, you're just blowing your money. And this is he just undisciplined. We just watched a case before this one where the guy literally made $28 million. If this doesn't show you that if you just have all the wrong habits and you're just not disciplined, no amount of money is going to be able to cover that up. You're not going to be able to get away from it if you just really lack discipline. And so if you don't make changes, we can still predict your future. You know, made 28 million. This dude, he was making tons of money in boxing. And he had a clear opportunity to capitalize and make way more, way more. We're talking hundreds of millions. I don't think he ever got to the hundreds of millions part, but it was definitely within his grasp, within his potential, but didn't stay disciplined out of the ring. Didn't stay disciplined out of the ring. And it's a lesson to be taken from that, that when you have potential, when you have opportunities, the way that you have to actually show appreciation for that is you have to continue to hone in on it. And it's a reminder for me too, for any opportunity that I have. I feel like the bigger you get, in order to really preserve what you're getting and where you're heading, I feel like the bigger you get, the more grounded you have to become. But for most people in the position, getting a lot at once, what usually happens is the opposite. The more they get, the less grounded they become, and the more of the world they become. But I feel like the more worldly things you get, the more you need to go deep within. The more things you get outside of yourself, the more deeper you have to go within in order to stay balanced and stay aligned, in my opinion. But that's not really taught. And what typically happens is the opposite happens and people start to lose control and their ego starts to get out of control. And, you know, people start hyping them up. All these things outside of themselves starts affecting their internals, who they are within. When they get the success, they need to be focusing more within so that they can affect everything outside of themselves, because now there's more things outside you to be able to distract you and also to destroy you.
I know 5 rappers right now that's back to dealing, and I hope they don't get caught because it's gonna be sad. But it's something about the lifestyle that when their rap career fall off, they start trapping instantly. Fast Money is addictive. They start trapping immediately. These niggas are selling like it's going out of style. They're like, fuck the music. They're just showing the work. I know 5 rappers.
So when a rapper ever speaks on me that I never heard of, you can't go band for band, you can't go oar for oar, nigga. It's impossible, brother. No one knows you. 95% of rappers are broke. Let me first tell you. That's what it be. You know? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not one of them niggas though. I'm the top 5%. So when a rapper
Let me explain.
We done seen spurts.
Let me explain something to you. It'd be multiple reasons why rappers go broke. You know what I'm saying? Because they put their all in their music and they think that's what's gonna take them forever. They don't understand it's a phase. One, they don't have nothing to fall back on. They feel like that shit gonna be forever. And another reason to be broke too was because they too much is trying to keep up with the Joneses. They too much trying to show what they got, trying to prove something. But I'm gonna tell you something, being real and really actually having it. The last thing you want is for everybody to know you got it. Focus on the business
Exactly.
aspect of life. Like if you get money out of music, use that to make an avenue of other shit.
And here's the thing. It's kind of funny, right? He's saying the last thing you want is for everybody to know that you got it. But yeah, he still is flashy though. He still got golds in his mouth and still got the chain on. But maybe he doesn't want to have to do that. Maybe he's doing that because he still just understands this is a part of the profession. This is a part of the starter kit. And so I have to have this. But maybe that's not really him. Maybe he's just still putting into the image because that is ultimately how he's making majority of his money in entertainment. So maybe it's more so a costume, right? Which I would respect that. But he's absolutely right. They feel like they have to keep up with the Joneses. And that's just most people in general. You'll see people trying to live like what they see celebrities living like because they're that influenced. And back to the whole TikTok and Instagram thing. There's a lot of people who are famous on these platforms, like famous. And if you pick a platform, again, that is not already and naturally monetized in a lucrative way, then what you have to do and what most creators don't do is you have to find outside ways to be able to monetize it. One of the biggest ways that I see or that I hear of is brand deals. But apparently, when it comes to brand deals, even then you have to have some type of skills within yourself because from what I understand, the best brand deals are sometimes the ones you have to actually go out to the companies and you have to sell yourself. And you basically have to use your own sales skills and even your own research skills and look them up and also make sure that it fits within your niche. And you have to understand your analytics and understand your audience and basically what you have to offer. Then you still have to negotiate on your own behalf. All type of things that require skills, business. A lot of these people too, they just don't have the knowledge before they're getting something big. So maybe they don't know how to negotiate their contract. Maybe there's a lot of money being generated, but you aren't positioned within your contract to make sure that you're actually reaping it. And somebody else is capitalizing off of all your work. Maybe you don't understand your own leverage. Maybe you don't understand the fact that without you, all this stops, all this money stops. But ultimately, again, if you don't keep up with the Joneses, what that ultimately means is that you get to retain more of what you earn. When you retain more of what you earn and you actually start to save something to where you're no longer in survival and you're actually in a position where you're good either way, then you can actually execute on that leverage. So maybe you're in the contract, but you understand that this doesn't move without me. And all the money that you've made, you've been strategic, you've been investing it, you've been saving it. And so now it's not going to hurt you to not do your performances or do your concerts or not act in that movie. It's going to hurt the person you're in contract with. So maybe you tell them, hey, I'll sit on the sidelines for a while. I'm good. Things are good. And now you're actually able to negotiate on your behalf and create an opportunity from that. But ultimately, it's going to start with a good stewardship. And I feel like my philosophy is I'm real big on freedom. And so, really, what money just gets you is it gets you freedom. It gets you a little bit more of your time back. In a lot of cases, money just equals time, the time and effort as well that you've put into it. And so, I feel like that's what really people should be saving for so that you can get some of those things back. But that's definitely why I do it. And also, again, I just like to pour into other things that actually matter. I like to get more grounded. I like to get stronger. I like to get smarter. I like to get more spiritually in tune. Those type of things. And everything else is just, in my opinion, a byproduct. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, there's probably been over 7 days, and hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice, if you want to hype, to just go ahead and hype on while the iron is hot on a newer video. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments, where it will show other people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, and you will get early access to content as well as exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.